storage facilities in the complex do not have any markings on them. This is how they look. When you come in through the front door, you set a light timer. I spin it as much as I could, and then I'll spin it back if there's some time left. That way we're not wasting the electricity. I'm going to be taking some measurements from top to bottom, from left to right, and from front to back to get an idea of the amount of space that you are getting. This is pretty much the standard unit. I believe that according to the BarGold rep who met me when we were renting this unit, this is the standard for all the units, for most of the units, or 90+% of the units. But there are a small percentage of units that are, I think, probably like maybe 50% or maybe twice as big. And the price represents that. This unit here is sold as a 4x6 by, again, I believe it's 6 feet. We purchased this, or actually rented this unit. And they're supposed to be 6 feet by 6 feet from front here to back, from left to right 4 feet, and from top to bottom is supposed to be 6 feet. So we're just going to measure to just double check that. It does have these braces here, so that's a bunch of inches there, so it may not be exact. It comes with a rod to hang clothing. I don't know if all the units are that way or ours just came that way, not sure. We rented this when they first opened up, which was well over 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago. And let's just do the measurements. So let's do from front to back. Or from back to front, I should say. This is the measurement from here all the way at the bottom. It's a wood floor and it's painted. And it's, let me see, from here, from the bottom. The problem is too, and I'm actually measuring that. I'm measuring the furthest out point. I don't know what these walls are called. This galvanized metal wall with ridges on it. It's, I don't know, maybe ½ inch to 1 inch difference depending on where you're measuring. So I'm gonna measure the point furthest towards the doorway, so that way I'll know an exact amount. And let's come across. I'm trying to stay as straight as possible. Okay. This is a rough estimate, so your measurement may differ from mine. And this is right at the tip, and it's 69 inches. Or and a quarter, but that's the actual measurement to the doorway. As you go further out, can you bring it out further? Straight. You do get 6 feet once you reach the actual door itself, the doorway frame. But I don't think I can put anything there. What do you think? No, right? The actual door itself,
no,
yeah.
The door goes into this.
So I'm gonna measure up to this point.
Up to that point.
And it's actually
69 and
about
1 inch.
about 70 inches.
Oh, 70 inches. Yeah.
5 feet 10 inches. So we're 2 inches short. But I guess they actually measuring the actual total unit size. So that's from back to front. Storage, where you can put storage. So now, well, that's not even a good measurement because I can't go past this point either to even reach this unless I'm right in the center. So if you're in the center, fine, but if you go further out and you're going from left to right, it's actually up to here, the total measurement. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give usable storage area space. I guess you could put some pipes through there and pieces of wood.
I guess this is really the usable
Yeah,
area, whatever
this-
the wood is.
Whatever the wood is. So we're gonna measure that. And the wood, I'm gonna rough it just a little over 69 inches or 5 feet 9 inches.
Yeah, because over there, these
Yeah, 6
beams-
feet 9¼ inches. And that's the usable storage area. So that's from back to front. Now we're gonna do from left to right, or from right to left, depending on which way. Let's do from left to right. I'm actually inside the unit and I'm measuring from left to right. So from left to right, most of the usable space is going to be indicated by the piece of wood, and that actually is just over 45 inches or 3 feet 9 inches or 9¼ inches. The rest of it, the issue that there is that there's a beam here which ends the storage right at the piece of wood, which is a problem. So if you're going in between the beams, your actual size is 4 feet. So that's what you actually do get if you're in between the beams. I'm gonna measure the difference between the beam sizes in this unit. It could be different in other units, but the left to right size, as you can see in inches, there's about a 3-inch difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
3-inch difference. So this is about 3 inches wide, or just under 3 inches wide. All right, now let's do from left to right between the beams. We decided to measure the beam itself. It's about 2.5 inches coming into the actual storage unit. And the actual beam width from facing the beam, this is facing the beam, is about 1.5 inches. Now let's do the beam side from left to right. The first one, there's 3. There's this beam, this, and then another beam over there. So 3 beams in total. This is a measurement from the first SI. There's actually 4 beams. So this is the first beam from left to right. This open area here, 2 feet, 2 feet. That's the first set of beams you come upon when you come into the unit on your left-hand side. So I'm only measuring the inside, the usable space in between the beams here. So that is going to be about 24 inches and 3/4 on the second set of beams. The second set. And then the last one, uh, 14.5. I'm going to say 14.5. So now let me step back to show you what I actually measured. That's what I was measuring. Now let's measure the height. Now I'm measuring the actual usable space, which is going to be here, all the way up, and that is going to, again, from bottom to top, or from top to bottom, about 81 inches, which is about 6 feet 9 inches that you're getting. Interesting, the actual measurements that they gave us do measure out, but it's areas that you really can't use for storage. That's our issue. So I'm going to give you an example. if we actually measure the unit, which is underneath this piece of wood, and we bring the measurement all the way down, when we come back up, it actually measures almost 7 feet. Let me see, can you bring it up a little bit higher? Yep, it measures 7 feet, exactly 7 feet. But again, you would have to go past the floor to get that measurement. So I think they rented it to us 6 by 4 by 7, but you get a couple of inches difference depending on where you're putting items in the storage. You may get an inch or two less. And that's actually left over from whoever rented this unit before us. This is the inside of the door. As you can see, it also has beams and not much space in between the beams at all. Just in case you're curious, 9 1/4, the next set of beams within 11 1/2. About 9 1/4. So that's the measurements at the door, the inside part of the door, the beams themselves, and they come out about 2 inches. So I don't know. I mean, if you can get creative, I guess, and you can put pieces of wood along the wall, the door. I don't know how you will hold them up, but you can slide them in, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to get as much usable space as possible for the storage unit. And you cannot store anything above the unit. I believe that they will discard anything that is left above the unit. I'm going to take a lot of pictures and I'll show it to you at the end, which will be pretty much now. Yeah, we're pretty much done. I hope this video helps. I wish I would have had it because I really wanted to know this information and I just didn't have it. So I hope this information helps you in deciding to rent this actual unit. Showing you.
You want to say how long the waiting list?
And it is June 23rd, 2022, and the unit is renting for about $74 per month. $74 per month. And the other unit, the larger unit, can go from between, I think of what I heard, again, I don't know anyone who has that unit, I don't have any info on it. I think it goes between 120 to 180, depending on the size. And I think there's one that's double the size of this, so that one's probably the 180, or maybe even bigger than double size of this. All right, I'm gonna take some pictures. Please stand by at the end, and you can actually look at the pictures if you're curious to see still images of the storage unit. Again, this is the most common storage unit within Boulevard Gardens. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.